Hello and welcome to our Harvey Norman market research presentation. Following the debriefing by Harvey Norman's CDO Gary Wheelhouse, we developed the manager's decision problem to be how can Harvey Norman optimize its consumers' online shopping experience across the categories of outdoor furniture, sofas and TVs. From this MDP, our market research problem was to identify the salient purchase drivers for the aforementioned segments. We then proceeded to establish the following constructs: information asymmetry, e-commerce purchase drivers, and online personality and image. Based off these three constructs, we developed three research objectives. Firstly, investigate if there is an impact of information asymmetry in the Harvey Norman online customer journey across the three segments. Secondly, identify the critical purchase influences online for each segment. And thirdly, investigate to what degree Harvey Norman conveys a consistent brand identity across its in-store and online platforms. And now, onto our market research methodology.
The research was broken into two parts: methods, focus groups, and observations. The reasons behind the combination of the focus groups and observations was to compensate for the relative weaknesses of each method.
So firstly, we selected focus groups as they are both economic and time effective, and thus a very apt choice for initial primary information gathering. Additionally, focus groups promote open answers and probing for further detail. However, despite the vast benefits, secondary research revealed that a number of cognitive factors significantly affected focus group answers. This included an increased risk of a certain individual dominating discussion and also risk of being a part of a social construction as an active interviewer, thus also increasing the risk of biasing and leading questions.
So observations make up for this weakness of the focus group interviews. The interviewer is less part of the social construction, as he's not actively participating in the observation. Though, for observations, there's a risk of participants going off topic and changing the direction of the discussion. So, through this combination, we thought that the reliability of the results were strengthened. So, moving on to the interview details, we did 4 mini-focus interviews with 4 to 5 participants in each. The interviews were semi-structured and open-ended questions were used. Probing was also done in cases where it was necessary to help along the thought process by repeating the questions or rephrasing them. The interviews were conducted in open-lit rooms to ensure a comfortable environment. Also, the participants were pre-screened, so we knew that they knew about Harvey Norman and that they had the correct age. And special attention to every participant was made to help them be active.
So now, talking about our pilot testing, the initial question structure of the pilot test effectively revealed a very apparent disconnect between the Harvey Norman brand and their website. However, it lacked the ability to get to the core issues. To investigate the disparity further, we added questions to further explore consumer sentiment, such as, if you could describe the personality of the Harvey Norman website, what would you describe it as? To allow each individual to develop their own understanding of the idea, and thus also mitigating the detrimental dominant group member consensus factor. So now moving on to Marcus and Raf, talking about observation.
As stated earlier by Tina, observations provided a fantastic foil as it created strengths to mitigate leading bias. This then fought to balance the potential researcher bias. An observation was used to oversee participants in the unguided search process.
This observation is quite new and is known as a usability model. It's common among websites and among other sort of online and digital mediums. As it is used to map the consumer journey and identify what drives to the purchase occasion. It is being used more often recently as digital becomes an increasing focus of market research.
In regards to the methodology we adopted, we print screened 30 different web pages from the Harvey Norman website and numbered them from 1 to 30. The choosing of the web pages was done accordingly to various consumer search processes. We then instructed the participants to create their own search pathway by placing together the numbered screenshots in the order of their choosing for each category.
So why would we do this? The advantages are quite salient. What we can do is we can finally see a clear consumer pathway, the way the consumer would actually go through this website and pinpoint their moments of active choice. These moments of truth are very important, especially in an online digital space where there's a number of other websites competing for this interest. It investigates common choices between different consumers, and most importantly, it is unguided, so the respondent is able to pick their own path and choose their own way. For instance, if they wanted to search by price first, and then after that, have a look at how, for instance, the quality or the color would impact. This is the most organic consumer journey. And through this, we actually found some incredible findings.
Now, price was found to be an indicator of quality, thereby highlighting its complementary nature, while brand was found to be an influencer of quality. These findings also help answer the question posed in Research Objective 2, while also contributing to our MRP. With respect to the MDP, these findings hold significant implications, which Marcus and Tina will discuss later. The issue of price omission is arguably a symptom of the information asymmetry which exists on Harvey Norman's website. With respect to Research Objective 1, respondents perceive the information present on Harvey Norman's website to be inadequate. While information on products themselves were present, such as specs, the absence of the previously identified drivers of purchase lent themselves to the negative sentiment towards Harvey Norman's website. Respondents admitted that the lack of price for the outdoor furniture and sofa segments inconvenienced their purchase journey so strongly that they preferred to terminate their search immediately on Harvey Norman and proceed to competitor websites such as IKEA.
This ultimately supports the notion that information asymmetry has a pronounced ability to reduce consumers' purchase intent per our secondary research. Results also indicated that respondents were somewhat dissuaded by the cheap and tacky look and feel of the website. Thus, as a response to the MDP, part of Harvey Norman's solution to optimizing its online shopping journey is to strengthen the translation of its physical presence and brand into its website. Furthering our insights into Research Objective 3, respondents indicated that they felt overwhelmed and confused when landing on the Harvey Norman homepage. Respondents emphasized layout and ease of website use as being major determinants of their desire to stay on the website.
When respondents were asked to nominate the website they felt contained the best search functionality, 50% of the respondents chose eBay, while the remaining 50% selected Amazon.
This is indicative of respondents' perceived inferiority of Harvey Norman's website with respect to ease of use and search functionalities. With respect to the MDP, this is indicative of the need for Harvey Norman to consider improvements to the layout and functionality of their website.
So to summarize, the implications of the findings is that price is overwhelmingly important, to the point where individuals would terminate their process and their consumer journey if there was price not available. Further, looking into price ceiling observations or some sort of price range was used to implement a different strategy which recorded excellent results.
Also, customer reviews were highly emphasized by the participants, and furthermore, the reasons why they tended to prefer the eBay website. Thus, Harvey Norman should try to emphasize this aspect of their online shopping journey for the consumer.
Thirdly, layout was considered confusing and convoluted. Applying a more minimalist style, or removing titles, extra information, some of the additions such as individual help blogs can be used to reduce the clutter on the screen and increase white space, which the consumer sees to be a more polished, clean and pristine website.
So, Harvey Norman should also reconsider their website design so that it has a look that is more unified for the brand identity across both online and offline. Due to the offline perceived image of a quality brand, and the online as a tacky and less professional look.
Now, much like every survey and every other research, there are a number of limitations that occurred. First and foremost, it is a very small sample size. Only surveying through something between 30 to 40 people is just enough to be statistically significant, but using confidence intervals will mean that it is potentially not enough to stand for the entire group. Furthermore, there are limitations involved with the way that we can search. For instance, these screenshots available to us were all that we could receive. For instance, if Harvey Norman had the ability to open up different sites or different ways to organize things, we would have been able to show more. We thank you very much
for watching our presentation.